I'm Savita Balsang and welcome to my channel Statistics Made Simple. In this video, I'm solving the second PUC Model Paper 4 for the year 2024. All of you are aware that the maximum marks for the paper is 80 and the duration of the exam is 3 hours 15 minutes. So 15 minutes is the reading time for the question paper. So choose the questions you're really thorough with and answer them first. And later on, if you still have the time, you can attempt some extra questions towards the end. Some of the instructions are the statistical table and graph sheets will be supplied on request. Scientific calculators are allowed and all working steps should be clearly shown. And only the first written answers will be considered in section A. Section A, the first mean, choose the correct answer from the choices given. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. The first question, if the population itself is considered as standard, then CDR is known as the STDR. Second, the prices of items increased by 20% in 2020 as compared to 2015. Then the index number for the year 2015 is. So remember that 2015 is the base year and 2020 is the current year. So they are asking us what is the index number for the year 2015. The correct answer is B, that is 100. If Z is a standard normal variate, then probability of Z is option A 0, B 0.25, C 0.5, D it is 1. So if we draw the standard normal curve, you know that the center line is Z equal to 0 and the extremities are minus infinity and infinity. So probability of Z greater than 0 means you have to shade from 0 to infinity, and we know that this area is 0.5. So the correct option is C, 0.5. In a chi-square test for goodness of fit, if there are 6 observations in which a parameter is estimated, then the degrees of freedom of the test statistic is 3, 4, 5 and 6. So for goodness of fit test, we know that the degrees of freedom is n minus 1, and because the parameter is estimated, so you have to subtract 1. So this is for the parameter. The exact degrees of freedom is n minus 1. So 6 minus 2 is equal to 4. The option is B. The transportation problem is said to be balanced if and only if summation AI is equal to summation BJ. Second main, fill in the blanks by choosing the appropriate answer from those given in the brackets. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. Sixth question, Fisher's index number is the geometric mean of Laspeyres and Paget's index numbers. In which distribution is the mean and variance equal? The answer is the Poisson distribution. The boundary values of confidence interval are called as the confidence limits. What is a quality characteristic which does not conform to specifications? It is a defect. And any solution to a general LPP which satisfies non-negativity restriction is called as a feasible solution to the LPP. Third main, match the following. 11th question, the number of newborn babies died within 28 days, that is referred to as neonatal deaths. Kelly's index number, it satisfies the circular test. The chi-square distribution is a positively skewed distribution. The probability of type 1 error is called as the size of the test, and whenever the value of a game V is equal to 0, it is called as a fair game. So when you're writing the match the following in your answer booklet, it is preferred that you write next to 11 what is under A, that is the number of newborn babies died within 28 days, and the correct option under B you can write D, that is neonatal deaths. Please keep this in mind. Fourth main, answer the following questions. 5 into 1 is equal to 5. 16th question, define fecundity. Fecundity is the capacity of women to bear children. Seventeenth, which component of time series is associated with increase in the sales of ice creams in the month of April and May? The answer is seasonal variations, and this is because of man-made conventions. 18th one, write the mean of the t distribution. So the mean is denoted by E of t and it is equal to 0. So next is define standard error. So standard error is the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of a test statistic. Twentieth, mention a type of variable associated with inventory. There are two, you can write any one of them. Controlled variable and uncontrolled variable. Section B, fifth main, answer any 5 of the following questions. 5 into 2 is equal to 10. 21st question, mention 4 components of time series. The first one is secular trend. It's also called as the long-term movement. Then you have seasonal variations, then cyclical variations, which are also called as oscillatory variations. Then fourth is irregular variations, which are also called as random fluctuations. 22nd question, write down the conditions for applying Newton's advancing difference method. So this method is applicable in those cases where the independent variable increases by equal intervals. That means the difference between the x value should be the same. But like binomial expansion method, it's not necessary that the y value which has to be interpolated corresponds to one of the given values of x. 23rd question. In a binomial distribution, if mean is 4 and variance is 3, then find its parameters. So let us write down the information which is given. So mean means NP. NP is equal to 4. Variance of the binomial distribution means NPQ is equal to 3. So now what we have to do is we have to consider the ratio NPQ divided by NP using the condition that the mean is always greater than the variance for the binomial distribution. So this is equal to 3 divided by 4. NP and NP will get cancelled, so which implies that Q is equal to 3 by 4 means it is 0.75. So our aim is to find out P, which is 1 minus Q. So 1 minus 0.75 is equal to 0.25. So we know that the two parameters of the binomial distribution are n and p. We have got the value of p Now we have to get n. So you consider any one of the equations. We know that np is equal to 4. So this implies n into 0.25 is equal to 4, or which implies n is equal to 4 divided by 0.25, which is equal to 16. So therefore, the parameters are n equal to 16 and p equal to 0.5. 24th question. If the standard deviation of a normal distribution is 15, find the mean deviation. So let us first write the formula. Consider mean deviation. So MD is equal to, the formula is 4 divided by sigma. So which implies MD is equal to 4 by 5. Sigma means the standard deviation, it is 15. So if you simplify, you get the answer as 12. Mention two types of estimation. The first one is point estimation. So if only a single value is proposed as an estimate for the unknown population parameter, it is called as point estimation. And the second is interval estimation. So an interval based on sample values, if it is proposed as an estimate for the unknown population parameter, it is known as interval estimation. Next is, they have given x bar equal to 203, mu is 200, sigma is 10, n is 64, calculate test statistic z. So this information is based on test for single mean for large sample. So the formula of the test statistic is considered z equal to, it is x bar minus mu divided by sigma by root n, which follows normal 0, 1. So this implies z is equal to 203 minus 200 divided by 10 by root 64. So this is 3 divided by 10, and root of 64 we know that it is 8. So first simplify this part. So 3 divided by 10 by 8 is 1.25, and the final answer for z is 2.4. 27th question. If r bar is 2.5 and n is equal to 4, find the upper limit of the r chart. So let us write the formula. Consider UCL, that is the upper control limit, is D4 r bar. So now what you have to do is, from the statistical table, for n equal to 4, you should find out what is D4. So you will get it as 2.282. So which implies UCL is equal to 2.282 into 2.5. So the final answer is 5.705. 28th question. For an equipment, the 4th year depreciation cost is rupees 6,000 and the cumulative maintenance cost is rupees 6,200. Find the average annual cost. So consider the annual average cost. AN is equal to P minus SN plus summation Ci divided by N. So which implies A. For N, you substitute 4, that is the 4th year. P minus Sn is nothing but the depreciation cost, that is 6,000. Cumulative maintenance cost means summation Ci is 6,200 divided by 4. So you will get the annual average cost for the 4th year as rupees 3,050. Section C. 6th main, answer any 4 of the following questions. 4 into 5 is equal to 20. 29th question. Explain briefly the steps involved in the construction of cost of living index number. Here I have listed out all the 7. That is, the purpose of the index number should be well defined. Selection of the base year, selection of items, selection of data, obtaining price quotations, then selection of weights and appropriate formula, selection of the average to be used. So now I'm going to explain each of the steps in few points. Some of them may be very lengthy, but you can condense them when you're writing because it's only a 5-mark question. So before constructing an index number, a clear statement as to the purpose and nature of its use is necessary. So without defining the purpose, it is not possible to follow the steps in its construction. The statement of purpose settles related problems like selection of items and data. Then under the second point, that is selection of the base year. So first you can define what is the base year. That is the period with which comparisons for relative changes in the variable are made is termed as the base period. Then you can mention that the base period should be a normal period and it should be free of abnormalities or fluctuations due to economic boom or depression, strikes, floods, famines, earthquakes, etc. Then suppose we take the base period as a period of economic instability in which the prices of various commodities have become very high due to scarcity. Then the comparisons of price relatives will not be of much practical use. And then thirdly, the base period should not be too distant from the current period because the pattern of consumption may have changed. Third, under selection of items, the selection of items is mainly based on the purpose of an index number which is being constructed. For example, a wholesale price index number requires items which are transacted at the wholesale market, whereas a consumer price index number requires items which are consumed by a particular group of people. Then coming to selection of data, this data is usually the set of prices and quantities of the selected items which are consumed in different places, periods, etc. And this constitutes the basis for the construction of index number. Now, whatever data you are collecting, it should be from reliable sources such as trade journals, periodical reports, exporters, etc. And the data should strictly pertain to the type of index number being constructed. For example, a retail price index number will require price quotations which are obtained from super bazaars, fair price shops, departmental stores, and not from wholesale dealers. Under the fifth point, that is obtaining price quotations, you can mention that because the prices are likely to vary from place to place, price quotations should be obtained from different places and agencies. Then the average of these prices should be used in the construction of index numbers. And also these price quotations should be obtained at regular intervals. Coming to the sixth point, selection of weights and appropriate formula. So the items considered for the construction of index numbers have varied importance. That is like rice, petrol, sugar, they don't have equal importance. So depending on how important an item is, you should assign some appropriate weights, and usually the weights are the quantities of the items. So the selection of the formula will depend on what data is available, whether prices in the base year, current year, quantities in the base year, current year are available. So depending on it, you have to use an appropriate formula. Seventh is selection of the average to be used. So usually the arithmetic mean and the geometric mean are used as averages in the construction of index numbers. 30th question, interpolate and extrapolate the profit for the years 2019 and 2022 from the following data. So the years and profits in thousands of rupees are given. Year you can mark it as X and profit you can mark it as Y. 8 you mark it as Y0. Then this is Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, Y5 and Y6. So at this side I have the Pascal's triangle. So the Pascal's triangle will help us to obtain the coefficients in the binomial expansion. Now the first step is you should find out how many values of y are given to us. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So write given number of known values of y is 5, that is n is equal to 5. Now write the formula. Consider y minus 1 to the power n is equal to 0, which implies y minus 1 to the power 5 is equal to 0. Then expand this. First write y5, then y4, y3, y2, y1, y0 and equate it to 0. y5 will have the plus sign, then minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. It will alternate. Then you see the Pascal's triangle. For n equal to 5, the coefficients are 1, 5, 10, 10, 5 and 1. So here you have to write 1. Whether you write it or not, it doesn't make any difference. Then I will write 5, then 10, 10, 5 and then you have 1. Then seeing the table, you fill in the values. So this is 30 minus 5 into 24 plus 10 y3 minus 10 into 18 plus 5 into 14 minus 8 is equal to 0. So which implies 30 minus 120 plus 10 y3 you can retain as it is, then minus 180 plus 70 minus 8 is equal to 0. Now simplifying further, so put 30 minus 120 minus 180 plus 70 minus 8 in a calculator, and on simplification you will get 10 y3 minus 208 is equal to 0. So which implies 10 y3 is equal to 208, or you will get y3 is equal to 208 divided by 10, which is equal to 20.8. So here if you want, you can write the profit for the year 2019 is rupees 20.8 in thousands. So next we have to find out y6. So you have to write increase the suffix of y by 1 in equation star. Suppose I call this equation as star, this entire equation. So which implies, so only the subscript you have to increase, the coefficients will be the same. So y6 minus 5 y5 plus 10 y4 minus 10 y3 plus 5 y2 minus y1 is equal to 0. So which implies y6 minus 5 into 30 plus 10 into 24 minus 10 into 20.8 plus 5 into 18 minus 14 is equal to 0. So simplifying, you will get y6 minus 150 plus 240 minus 208 plus 90 minus 14 is equal to 0. So simplifying, you will get y6 minus 42 is equal to 0, or y6 is equal to 42. So the profit for 2022 is rupees 42 in thousands. 31st question, 2% of the articles manufactured by a firm are found to be defective. Find the probability that a box of 40 articles contain exactly 3 and then 2 or more defective articles. The word defective indicates that this problem is based on the binomial distribution. So we first need to get the two parameters. The parameters of the binomial distribution are n and p. N is usually a whole number. So n is 40 and p is the probability of getting a defective article, that is 2%. So 2% is 2 divided by 100, which is 0.02. So next you define x as number of defective articles. So initially you will see that this problem is based on the binomial distribution. So we write that is x follows binomial 40, 0.02. Now you observe that n is very large and p is very small. So we'll write the sentence, since n is very large and p is very small, we use Poisson approximation to the binomial distribution. So this is a very important step to remember. I'll just keep the words short. So now we know that when n is large and p is very small, the third condition is lambda is equal to np. So which implies lambda is equal to 40 into 0.02, that is equal to 0.8. So that is, now x will follow capital P. So this is Poisson with the parameter within brackets, that is lambda. This is 0.8. Okay. So now let us write the PMF of the Poisson distribution. So I'll write, consider P of x is equal to, open the flower bracket, it's e to the power minus lambda. So e to the power minus 0.8, lambda to the power x, so 0.8 to the power x divided by x factorial. X takes values 0, 1, 2, so on, it is infinite. And in the next line, we write 0 otherwise. So now let us start with the first subdivision. So subdivision A or 1. So consider, you should find the probability of getting 3 defectives. That means capital X is equal to 3, which is equal to P of 3. So in this PMF, wherever you have X, replace it by 3. So e to the power minus 0.8, 0.8 to the power 3 by 3 factorial. So e to the power minus 0.8 is 0.4493 into 0.512, 3 factorial is 6. So after simplification, we'll get probability of x equal to 3 is 0.0383. Remember that any probability answer should lie only between 0 and 1 and it should not be negative. Next subdivision is 2 or more defective articles. So probability of x greater than or equal to 2. So in the direct method, x is greater than or equal to 2 means 2, 3, so on till infinity, which you cannot find out. So use the formula method, which is 1 minus probability of x, because on the left hand side you have greater than or equal to. On the right hand side here you will have only less than 2. Now which are the values which are less than 2? You check here in the range, it is 0 and 1. So this is equal to 1 minus probability of x equal to 0 plus probability of x equal to 1. So which is equal to 1 minus p of 0 plus p of 1. So simplify now, it is 1 minus p of 0 means in the PMF put x as 0. P of 1 means in the PMF put x as 1. So you will get e to the power minus 0.8, 0.8 to the power 0 by 0 factorial plus e to the power minus 0.8 0.8 to the power 1 by 1 factorial. So this is 1 minus 0.4493 into 1 divided by 1 plus 0.4493 into 0.8 divided by 1. So which is 1 minus 0.4493 plus 0.3594. So the final answer on simplification is 0.1913. So add these two and subtract from 1, and then you should be getting 0.1913. 32nd question. A bag contains 15 marbles, of which 10 are red and 5 are black. A random sample of 5 marbles is taken. Find the probability that the sample contains 3 red marbles. Also find the mean of red marbles. So this problem, as you all know by regular practice, it is based on the hypergeometric distribution. So the parameters are n, a and b. Okay, so let us identify the parameters. So first write given. A bag contains 15 marbles. That means A plus B is equal to 15, where A will stand for the number of red marbles, because the question is based entirely on red marbles. So you should take A as the number of red marbles, that is 10, and B will be the number of black marbles, which is 5. Random sample means n is equal to 5. So next define X. So it is number of red marbles in a random sample of size n is equal to 5. Next we will write down the PMF. So the PMF is, consider P of X equal to, it is ACX. That means 10CX, BC n minus X. So 5C, 5 minus X divided by A plus B Cn. So it is 15C5, and X takes values 0, 1, 2, so on. It is minimum of A comma n. So 10 comma 5, which the minimum is 5. So therefore you will get P of X as 10CX, 5C5 minus X. Then find out 15C5, which is 3003, and X will takes value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, because the minimum is 5. Now let's start with the first question asked. Find the probability that the sample contains 3 red marbles. So consider it is probability of capital X equal to 3, which is equal to P of 3. So in this PMF, wherever you have X, you put 3. So 10C3, 5C5 minus 3 divided by 3003. So 10C3 is 120 into 5C2 will be 10 divided by 3003. So the answer is 0.3996. Second question is also find the mean number of red marbles. That means you have to find out expectation of X. So the formula for expectation of X is NA divided by A plus B. So it is 5 into 10 divided by 15, which is 3.3333. 33rd question. From the following data, test whether the difference between population proportions is significant at 5% level of significance. So 2 samples are given and the sizes of both the samples are given as 200 and 100, and the sample proportions, that is 0.28 and 0.34 are given. So let me list down the given information. N1 is equal to 200, N2 is equal to 100, P1, the sample proportion, is 0.28 and P2 is 0.34. Next, let us write H0. The two population proportions are equal. That is, capital P1 is equal to P2 versus the alternative hypothesis H1. P1 is not equal to P2. Under H0, the test statistic is Z equal to P1 minus P2 divided by root PQ into 1 by N1 plus 1 by N2, which follows normal 0, 1, where capital P has the formula N1 P1 plus N2 P2 divided by N1 plus N2. Substituting, we'll get 200 into 0.28 plus 100 into 0.34 divided by 200 plus 100. So on simplification, we get capital P as 0.3. So I'm just skipping the steps of the computation. Kindly do it. So which implies Q is equal to 1 minus P, which is 1 minus 0.3, which is equal to 0.7. Now let us substitute all the values in Z. So we get, therefore, Z is equal to 0.28 minus 0.34 divided by root of 0.3 into 0.7 into 1 by 200 plus 1 by 100. So which is equal to minus 0.06 into root 0.21 into 0.005 plus 0.01. So simplifying, we get minus 1.0714. Now at this side, I will write the condition for a two-tailed test. We have to check whether mod Z is greater than or equal to K alpha by 2. If this condition is satisfied, then we reject H0. So this is the condition. So we have got the value of Z. So therefore, modulus of Z is modulus of minus 1.0714, which is equal to 1.0714. And here in the given part, let me also include alpha is equal to 5%. So at 5% level of significance, K alpha by 2 is equal to 1.96. The last step is the conclusion. So since mod Z is equal to 1.0714, this is not greater than K alpha by 2 equal to 1.96 at 5% level of significance. We accept H0 and conclude that capital P1 is equal to P2. 34th question. The following data represents the blood pressure of 5 persons before and after performing dhyana. Can we conclude at 1% level of significance that dhyana reduces BP? So, 5 students along with BP before dhyana and BP after dhyana is given. So, let us mark BP before dhyana as X and BP after dhyana as Y. So this problem is based on the paired t-test. So let me start the problem. So first we will write the information which is given. So given n is equal to 5 and alpha is equal to 1%. Next we will write H naught. The two population means are equal, that is mu1 is equal to mu2. Then here at this side, before dhyana, and I'll write after dhyana. So the mean BP before dhyana is mu1 and the mean BP after dhyana is mu2. They are asking whether dhyana reduces BP, that means whether mu2 is less than mu1, but when we write the alternative, it will be mu1 is greater than mu2. So versus H1, mu1 is greater than mu2. Then under H naught, the test statistic is, this is based on the t-test. So T is equal to D bar divided by S by root n minus 1, which follows Tn minus 1. So in the table, let us find out D, which is nothing but x minus y. So 90 minus 88 is 2, then 0, 5, minus 2 and 3. Then find out summation D, which is equal to 8. Then let us calculate D square. So 2 square is 4, 0, 25, 4 and 9. So summation D square is equal to 42. So let us write the formula where D bar is equal to summation D by n, which is 8 divided by 5, which is equal to 1.6, and S square is equal to summation D square by n minus summation D by n the whole square, which is equal to 42 divided by 5 minus 1.6 the whole square. So on simplification, we will get 5.84, or S is equal to root of 5.84, which is equal to 2.4166. So therefore, T is equal to 1.6 divided by 2.4166 divided by root of 5 minus 1. So simplifying, we'll get 1.3242. Now this is a right-tailed alternative. So the condition which we have to use is here to check whether T is greater than or equal to T alpha, and then you will reject H naught if this condition is satisfied. So find out the degrees of freedom. It is n minus 1. 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. So at 1% level of significance for 4 degrees of freedom, T alpha is equal to 3.75. The last step is the conclusion. So since T is equal to 1.3242, this is not greater than 3.75. I'll just fit in here. At 1% level of significance for 4 degrees of freedom, we accept H0. 35th question. Find an initial basic feasible solution by matrix minima method and compute the total transportation cost. So 3 origins and 3 destinations are given. Supplies are nothing but the availabilities, which I'll mark as A1, A2 and A3. Similarly, the demands are the requirements, that is B1, B2 and B3. So we observe that summation AI is equal to summation Bj is equal to 800. So it is a balanced transportation problem. So in matrix minima method, we have to find out the least cost. So observe that the first least cost is 3. And this is in the cell 3, 3. So I'll start with the least cost is 3. That is C33 is equal to 3. And the allocation will be X33 is equal to minimum of A3, B3, which is equal to minimum of 100, 200. So you get X33 is equal to 100. Then write the allocation in this cell here as 100. And you see that this 100 matches with the availability at O3. So write availability at O3 is satisfied. Delete O3 and then you have to make an adjustment with the requirement. So you write B3 is equal to B3 minus the allocation which you found out, that is X33. So it is 200 minus 100 is equal to 100. So cancel out this 200 and write 100. And also don't forget to score off O3. Now next find the least cost. The next least cost is 4. So that is C12 is equal to 4 and the allocation is X12 is equal to minimum of A1, B2, which is minimum of 500, 200, which is equal to 200. So therefore X12 is equal to 200. Write 200 in the cell. Now you observe that this 200, it matches with the requirement at D2. So I'll write a requirement at D2 is satisfied. So you have to delete D2. So I'll delete D2 and then you have to make an adjustment with the availability, and A1 is equal to A1 minus X12. which is equal to 500 minus 200, which is equal to 300. So cancel out 300 and write 500. And we have already cancelled out the requirement D2. Now observe that the next least cost is 6. So the least cost is 6, that is C23 is equal to 6, and make the allocation X23 is equal to minimum of A2 comma B3, which is equal to minimum of A2 is 200 and B3 is 100. So therefore you'll get X23 is equal to 100. So in this cell write 100. Now you see that 100 matches with the requirement at D3. So requirement at D3 is satisfied. So you will delete D3 and you have to make the allocation. So you have to delete D3, and then what happens is the availability will change. A2 is equal to A2 minus X23. So A2 is 200 minus 100 is equal to 100. So score of 200 and then write 100. So you have to cancel out D3, which we have already done. The next least cost is 8. I have just rewritten the table with the remaining costs. So the least cost is 8. That is C11 is equal to 8 and X11 is minimum of A1 comma B1, which is equal to minimum of 300 comma 400. So therefore you have X11 is equal to 300. So write 300 in this cell, and you see that 300 matches with the availability at O1. So write availability at O1 is satisfied. So because the availability is satisfied, you have to delete O1 and you have to make the adjustment for the requirement B1. So B1 is equal to B1 minus X11, which is equal to 400 minus 300, which is equal to 100. So first score of O1 and the requirement B1 changes, score out 400 and write 100. Now you observe that there is only one cost remaining. So the fifth step is the least cost is 10. So that is C21 is equal to 10. So X21 is equal to minimum of A2 comma B1, which is equal to minimum of 100 comma 100. So therefore X21 is equal to 100. Then write 100 here. So you see that this 100 matches with the availability at O2 and requirement at D1. So you have to cancel out O2 and then you cancel out even D1. So we write both availability at O2 and requirement at D1 is satisfied. So you delete O2 and D1, and now the problem ends because we have completed all the costs. Next, we'll find out the total transportation cost. Therefore, the total transportation cost is Z equal to, so from the previous slide as well, you have to multiply each cost with the allocation which you have found out. So doing that, we get 300 into 8 plus 4 into 200 plus 10 into 100 plus 6 into 100 plus 3 into 100. So which is equal to 2400 plus 800 plus 1000 plus 600 plus 300. So therefore Z is equal to rupees 5100. Thirty-sixth question. The annual demand of an item is 3600 units. Capital cost is rupees 15 per unit. Inventory carrying cost is 20% of capital cost per annum. If setup cost is rupees 50, determine EOQ and minimum average annual cost. So let us write down the information which is given. So given the annual demand for an item is 3600 units, means R is equal to 3600 units per year. Capital cost is rupees 15 per unit. So capital P is equal to rupees 15 per unit. Inventory carrying cost is 20%. So that is capital I is equal to 20%. Capital cost. So capital cost, that is C1, is P into I, which is equal to, in this case, 15 into 20 divided by 100, which will be 3 units per year. And they've also given us the setup cost. So, and C3 is equal to rupees 150. So starting with the first subdivision, let us find out EOQ, that is economic order quantity. So economic order quantity formula is root 2R C3 divided by C1, which is root 2 into 3600 into 150 divided by 3. So which is equal to root, it is 3,60,000, which is equal to 600 orders per year. Now let's move on to the minimum average annual cost. So starting with the second subdivision, the annual average annual cost is considered C of Q to the power 0, which is equal to, the formula is root 2R C3 C1, which is equal to 2 into 3600 into 150 into C1, which is equal to 3. So on simplification, you will get rupees 1800. Seventh main, answer any two of the following questions. 2 into 5 is equal to 10. 37th question, if x is a normal variate with mean mu and standard deviation 4, find the probability that x takes a value in the 3 sigma neighborhood of mu. So this particular question has been solved in one of my videos in the playlist of the normal distribution. This is an important question. So let us start with the information which is given. So given, we can just write x follows normal with mean mu and variance sigma square. Now they've asked us to find the probability that x takes a value in the 3 sigma neighborhood of mu. So this step is written as consider probability. It is mu minus 3 sigma is less than x is less than mu plus 3 sigma. So this expression is read as probability that x lies in the 3 sigma neighborhood of mu. Now we have to standardize this expression. So standardizing means you have to subtract mu and divide by sigma. So it's probability of mu minus 3 sigma minus mu divided by sigma is less than x is less than mu by sigma is less than mu plus 3 sigma minus mu divided by sigma. Mu and minus mu will get cancelled, sigma and sigma will get cancelled. Similarly, here mu and minus mu, sigma and sigma will get cancelled. So this is equal to probability of, you will have minus 3, and we know that z is equal to the standard normal variate, which is x minus mu by sigma, which follows normal 0, 1. So for this we will substitute is less than z is less than 3. Next you can draw the normal curve. So this is minus infinity, this is z equal to 0 and then infinity. Now first mark minus 3. Minus 3 is negative, so mark it on the left tail of the curve. Then mark 3, which is a positive value, so mark it on the right tail of the curve. Now z lies between minus 3 and 3 means you have to shade only between minus 3 and 3. Now the area which you have shaded, you write it in words. So this is equal to area from minus 3 to 3. So remember that from the normal tables, we can find out any area only from a number to infinity. So what we have to do is from the starting point of the shading, that is minus 3 till infinity, draw a flower bracket. And from the end part of the shading, that is 3 to infinity, draw another flower bracket. So the area from the larger flower bracket, that is minus 3 to infinity, minus the area from the smaller flower bracket, that is 3 to infinity, will give us the area from minus 3 to 3. So using the statistical tables, we find out that the area from minus 3 to infinity is 0.9987 and the area from 3 to infinity is 0.0013. So therefore the final answer is 0.9974. 38th question. From the following data, test whether education and employment are independent at 1% level of significance. So they have given us a 2 by 2 contingency table where the two attributes are education and employment, which are divided into two classes, educated, uneducated, employed, unemployed respectively. And the cell frequencies are 20, 25, 15 and 40. So now first let us mark the cell frequencies as A, B, C and D. Then here I will find out the total. So 20 plus 25 is 45. This is nothing but A plus B. Then 15 plus 40 is 55, which is C plus D. Then add A and C, that is 35. A plus C, and then 25 plus 40 is 65, B plus D. So when we add 45 and 55 and 35 and 65, we will get capital N as equal to 100. So now let us first write down the information which is given and then we will start with the hypothesis. So I will write given capital N is equal to 100 and alpha is equal to 1%. Next write H naught. Education and employment are independent versus H1, education and employment are not independent. In the exam, please write the words completely. Next, write under H naught the test statistic is so chi-square is equal to N into it is AD. So AD minus BC the whole square divided by it is the product of the totals, that is A plus B into C plus D into A plus C into B plus D, which follows chi-square with 1 degree of freedom. So this is equal to 100 into 20 into 40 minus 25 into 15 the whole square divided by, write the product of all the totals, that is 45 into 55 into 35 into 65. So when we simplify this, we get 100 into 425 the whole square divided by, it is 56 lakhs 30,625. On further simplification, we will get 3.2079. So chi-square is equal to 3.2079. Now let me continue. So the condition which we use for chi-square test for independence of attributes is, here H1 is actually a right tail test. So you have to check whether chi-square is greater than or equal to K2. So if this condition is satisfied, you reject H naught. Otherwise, you have to accept H naught. So let us find out the degrees of freedom. You know that the degrees of freedom is 1. So at 1% level of significance, for 1 degree of freedom, K2 is equal to 6.63. So now let us write the conclusion. So since chi-square is equal to 3.2079, this is not greater than K2 equal to 6.63 at 1% level of significance for 1 degree of freedom, we accept H naught and conclude that education and employment are independent. Question. In a floor mat manufacturing, the average number of defects per square meter is known to be 4. Determine the control limits for the number of defects. So because of the word number of defects, it is the C chart. And because of the word known, it is the case when the process standard is known. That means lambda is given to us. So let's start the problem. So I'll write C chart. So C chart stands for the number of defects chart. And the case is when the process standard is known. that is lambda is known to us, or lambda is equal to lambda dash. So in this problem, they have given lambda dash is equal to 4. Then we write the 3 sigma control limits are CL is equal to lambda dash, UCL is equal to lambda dash plus 3 times root lambda dash, and LCL is equal to lambda dash minus 3 times root lambda dash. So substituting, we'll get CL is equal to 4, UCL is equal to 4 plus 3 times root of 4, which is 4 plus 3 into 2, which is equal to 10. And then you have 4 minus 3 into root 4, which is equal to 4 minus 3 into 2, which is equal to 4 minus 6. You will get minus 2. So which you have to approximate it to 0. So therefore, the final control limits are CL is 4, UCL is equal to 10, and LCL is equal to approximately 0. 40th question. Solve the following linear programming problem graphically. Maximize z equal to 3x plus 5y subject to the constraints x plus 2y less than or equal to 20, y less than or equal to 6, and x comma y greater than or equal to 0. So step 1 is to convert inequalities to equalities. So we have x plus 2y is equal to 20 and y is equal to 6. Step 2, to obtain the points of the line. So consider the first equation, that is x plus 2y is equal to 20. Now put x equal to 0. So you'll get 2y is equal to 20, which implies y is equal to 20 divided by 2 equal to 10. Next put y equal to 0. So you'll get x equal to 20. So therefore 0, 10 and 20, 0 are the points of the line x plus 2y is equal to 20. Now for the second equation, that is y equal to 6, you need not find any of the points. It will be plotted directly on the graph. So step 3 is to draw the graph. So on the x-axis, I'm taking 1 centimeter as 10 units. So on the x-axis, I have the origin 0. Then at 1 centimeter, I have 10, and the next centimeter, I have marked 20. Then similarly, on the y-axis, I have taken 1 centimeter as 10 units. So don't forget to write the scale. X-axis 1 centimeter is 10 units and y-axis 1 centimeter is equal to 10 units. Now let us draw the first line, that is x plus 2y equal to 20. So for drawing a line, you need a minimum of 2 points. The first point which we have is 0 and 10. That is x is 0 and y is 10. So this is 0, 10. And the other point is 20, 0. That is, this point 20, 0. Now mark from 0, 10 and 20, 0 a line and then you can just extend the line, and on this line you can write the equation x plus 2y is equal to 20. Now the next line which has to be drawn is y equal to 6. So on the y-axis you find 6, and then from this point 6 you draw a line horizontal to the x-axis such that it is touching the other line. Now step 4. So let us do step 4. So what is step 4? Now step 4 is to find the corner points. So to find, or we have to find out the feasible region first. So to find the feasible region, the fourth step is to find the feasible region. So how do we find the feasible region? So to find the feasible region, you have to take the first equation. So take the first equation. So the first equation is x plus 2y. Rather, we take into consideration the inequality, that is x plus 2y is less than or equal to 20. And in this, you have to put x equal to 0 and y equal to 0. So when we put x and y both as 0, what you get on the left hand side will get 0. On the right hand side, we have 20. Next, you check whether 0 is less than 20. So 0 is less than 20, which is true. Then take the other inequality which was given, that is, you consider y is less than or equal to 6, and here you put y equal to 0. So when you put y equal to 0, on the left hand side you will get 0, and on the right hand side you have 6. So check whether 0 is less than 6. So 0 is less than 6, it is true. So remember that whenever it is true, you have to shade towards the origin, and if it is false, you have to shade away from the origin. Okay, so now take the first inequality or the equation which we have, that is x plus 2y is equal to 20. For this we got the condition as true. So I am using the pencil and I am shading towards the origin. Then the next inequality which we have is y is less than or equal to 6. Even for that the condition is true. Okay, so that is this line. For this line we have got the condition as true. So using the red pen, again I am shading towards the origin. Okay, so just make a note of this diagram. So you have to find out where both the types of shading meet. Okay, so only this shape, like which is like a trapezium, you have the pencil mark as well as the red color mark. So this is the common feasible region. So now you have to mark the corner points of this feasible region in any order. So I'm marking this point as A, this is B, and this is C. So in the next slide, I will continue to mark the corner points. So now we continue with step 5, the corner points of the feasible region are, so if you recollect, we got a quadrilateral or a trapezium kind of common feasible region, which we marked as A, B, and C. So the corner points of the feasible region are, you have A as 0, 6, then B is 10, 6, and C is 20, 0. The last step now is step 6, to evaluate the objective function at the corner points. So you consider the objective function. The objective function is z equal to 3x plus 5y. So now find out za. So za is 3 into 0 plus 5 into 6. So you get 30. Next find out zb, which is 3 into 10 plus 5 into 6, that is 30 plus 30 is equal to 60, and ZC is 3 into 20 plus 5 into 0, which is equal to 60. Now the objective function is a maximization 1. So among the ZA, ZB and ZC values, the maximum is 60, and you see that we have a multiple solution in this case. So let us write the conclusion. The given LPP has a multiple solution at, so you have to mention what are the corner points at B 10, 6 and C 20, 0, and maximum Z value is equal to 60. So this problem has a multiple solution. Section D, 8 main, answer any two of the following questions. 2 into 10 is equal to 20. 41st question, subdivision A, compute TFR from the following data. That is, we have to find out the total fertility rate. The different age groups are given from 15 to 19 up to 45 to 49, along with the corresponding female populations and the number of live births. So let us start the problem. First, we need to write the formula for TFR, which is 5 times summation quinquennial ASFR. This formula will carry 1 mark. And we also write the formula for ASFR. So where ASFR, that is the age specific fertility rate, is number of live births occurring to women in a specific age group divided by average population of women in the specific age group into 1000. So let us form the column ASFR and calculate the values. So it's 320 divided by 8000 into 1000. It is 40. The next one is 60. Then we have 80, 100, 76, 40 and 8. So find out summation ASFR, which is equal to, it is 404. So therefore TFR is equal to 5 into summation quinquennial ASFR is 404. So the final answer is TFR is equal to 2020 births per 1000 women. Section B, from the following data, show that town B is healthier. This is a 5 mark problem. Age group in years are given. Then they have said deaths per 1000 for town A and town B, and the standard population is given. So standard population, you can mark it as capital P, and then add up the values. So you get summation P is equal to 67,000. Now an important point to note is that whenever they give deaths per 1000, so this is nothing but ASDR. So they have already given us the age specific death rates for town A and town B. So this I'll mark it as A and this I'll mark it as B. So whenever they use deaths per 1000, or sometimes they can also use the word death rate. So it means that the ASDR values are already given. So now let us write the formula for STDR. because they've asked us to find out or show that town B is healthier, that means we have to find out the standardized death rate. So standardized death rate is denoted by STDR, and the formula is summation PA divided by summation P. This is for town A. Okay, so where P will be the standard population and A will be the ASDR values for town A. Then similarly, we have to write the formula for STDR for town B. So I'll use a subscript B here, and the formula will be summation PB divided by summation P. Now all you have to do is you have to form two columns PA and PB. So it is 10 into 15,000, which is 1,50,000. Then similarly 4 into 18,000 will be 72,000. Next we get 1,76,000. Then 2,16,000. Then find out summation PA, which is equal to 6,14,000. Similarly, find out PB, which is 15,000 into 12, which is 1,80,000. Then you get 72,000. Then the next one is 1,98,000. Then 1,80,000. Then calculate summation PB, which is 6,30,000. So now let's substitute. So STDR of A is equal to, it will be 6,14,000 divided by 67,000. So which simplifies to 9.16. And STDR of B, summation PB by summation P, which is 6,30,000 divided by 67,000. So you get 9.40. Now let us write the conclusion. So the conclusion, actually they've asked us to show that town B is healthier. According to the calculations, we see that town A is healthier. So since STDR of A is 9.16 is less than STDR of B, which is equal to 9.40, we conclude that town A is healthier. Kindly go through the calculations, and if I have made any mistake, kindly rectify it. 42nd question. For the following data, compute Marshall-Edgeworth's price index number and show that it satisfies time reversal test. Items are given from A to E. The price for the base year and the current year are given, and the quantity for the base year and current year are given. So the first step is to mark the price in the base year as P0, the price in the current year as P1, quantity in the base year as Q0, and the current year quantity as Q1. Now for Marshall-Edgeworth index number, we need to find out P0 Q0, P1 Q1, P1 Q0, and P0 Q1. So let's do the calculations. So first I'll find out P0 Q0, that is 60 into 5 is 300. Similarly, the next value is 200, 240, 300, and 320. So the total for summation P0 Q0, this is equal to, I'll write it here, 1360. Similarly, find out P1 Q1, which is 100 into 6 is 600. Next we have 240, 360, 480, 600. So we get summation P1 Q1 as 2280. Next find out P1 Q0. So in this case it is 100 into 5, 500. Next we have 200, 360, again 360, 480. So summation P1 Q0 is 1900. Then the last column is P0 Q1, that is 60 into 6 is 360, 240. Then again we have 240, 400 and 400. So summation P0 Q1 is equal to 1640. Now the first question asked us we should find out Marshall-Edgeworth's price index number. So let's write the formula. Consider P01 of ME. An easy way to remember Marshall-Edgeworth index number is like this. So first write summation P1 divided by summation P0, and then multiply the numerator and denominator by Q0. This is last year's price index number without the 100. Then put a plus in the numerator, plus in the denominator. Then again write summation P1 by summation P0. Multiply the numerator and denominator by Q1. So this part is Pasch's without the 100, and outside the bracket write into 100. Now let's substitute. So summation P1 Q0 is 1900 plus 2280 divided by 1360 plus 1640 into 100. So which gives us 4180 divided by 3000 into 100. So on simplification we get P01 of ME is equal to 139.33. Next, we have to show that Marshall-Edgeworth index number satisfies TRT. So the condition is P01 of ME into P10 of ME is equal to 1. Remember that for time reversal test and for factor reversal test, we don't multiply by 100. So first write P01 of ME formula. That is, the first part is last year's without the 100. Then put a plus in the numerator, plus in the denominator. And then you have Pasch's without the 100. So let us substitute the totals. So we have summation P1 Q0 as 1900 plus 2280 divided by 1360 plus summation P0 Q1 I think is 1640. Okay, so this is equal to it's actually 4180 divided by 3000. Then let us write the formula for P10 of ME. So all you have to do is wherever there is 1, replace it by 0, and 0 you replace it by 1. So you get the formula for P10 of ME as summation P0 Q1 by summation P1 Q1. Then put a plus in the numerator, plus in the denominator, summation P0 Q0 by summation P1 Q0. Again you shouldn't multiply by 100. This is equal to summation. Now you have to substitute. So it is 2280 P0 Q1 I'm sorry, it is 1640. So it is 1640 plus 1360 divided by 2280 plus 1900. So which simplifies to 3000 divided by 4180. So now let us find out the product. So therefore P01 of ME into P10 of ME will be equal to 4180 divided by 3000 into 3000 divided by 4180. So all the terms will get cancelled and you will get 1. So therefore we conclude that Marshall Edgeworth index number satisfies time reversal test. 43rd question. By the method of least squares, fit a parabolic trend for the following time series. Estimate the production for the year 2022. So a parabolic trend is also known as a quadratic equation, or it is a second degree equation. So the years and the production in thousands of tons are given. So the first step is to mark the years as X and production in thousands as Y. And let us calculate summation Y, which is equal to 60. Now let us start the problem. First we have to write let y equal to a plus bx plus cx square be the quadratic equation or the parabolic equation. Then the three normal equations are na plus b summation x plus c summation x square is summation y. Then a summation x plus b summation x square plus c summation x cubed is equal to summation xy, and the third normal equation is a summation x square plus b summation x cubed plus c summation x to the power 4 is equal to summation x square y. So the number of years which are given is 5. So I'll write given n is equal to 5 and 5 is an odd number. So now we have to find out the middlemost year, that is 2018. So x is equal to, it is deviation from the middle year whole divided by h, where h is nothing but the difference between the years. So we get x is equal to deviation from the middle year from the table is 2018 divided by h, that's the difference between the years, is 1. So therefore x is equal to deviation from 2018. So in the table, let's find out x, x square, x cube, x to the power 4, xy and x square y. So let's find out x first. So it is 2016 minus 2018 is minus 2. Similarly, 2017 minus 2018 is minus 1. Then we get 0, 1 and 2. So our aim is to make summation x equal to 0. Then find out x square. So minus 2 square is 4. So remember that whenever you square a negative number, it becomes positive. So it's 1, 0, 1, 4. So you get summation x square is equal to 10. Then cube of a negative number will remain as negative. So minus 2 cubed will be minus 8, minus 1, 0, 1 and 8. So you see that summation x cube will also be equal to 0. Then find out x to the power 4, that is minus 2 to the power 4. It will be 16, 1, 0, 1 and 16. So summation x to the power 4 is equal to 34. Next find out xy. So 15 into minus 2 is minus 30. Then you get minus 11, 0, 11 and 26. So summation xy is equal to, we will get minus 4. Then find out x square y. So it is x square into the y column. So 15 into 4 is 60. Then you have 11, 0, 11 and 52. So you get summation x square is equal to 134. Now substituting all the totals in the three normal equations, we get, for the first normal equation, we'll get 5a plus b into 0 plus c into 10 is equal to 60. Then for the second normal equation, you will get a into 0 plus b into 10 plus c into 0 is equal to 34. So this will simplify to 10b is equal to 34, or b is equal to 34 divided by 10, which is equal to 3.4. The first normal equation will simplify to 5a plus 10c is equal to 60. I'll call this as equation 1. Then substituting the totals in the third normal equation, we get a into 10 plus b into 0 plus c into 34 is equal to 134. So which implies 10a plus 34c is equal to 134. I'll call this as equation 3. So next, solving equations 1 and 3 simultaneously. I'll write the equations one below the other. So it is 5a plus 10c is equal to 60 and 10a plus 34c is equal to 134. So only if the coefficients of either a or c are the same, and if we subtract, then we can eliminate either a or c. So now what I'll do is I will multiply this first equation by 2 so that the coefficient of a becomes 10, and even for this equation the coefficient is 10. So when we subtract, a will vanish and we'll get the value of c. So simplifying, we will get 5 into 2 is 10a plus 10 into 2 is 20c is equal to 60 into 2 is equal to 120. And then you write this equation below, 10a plus 34c is equal to 134. Now we have to subtract both the equations, so you have to change the sign. So this is minus, minus and minus. So 10a minus 10a will be 0. 20c minus 34c will be equal to minus 14c, and then 120 minus 134 will be minus 14. So we get, therefore, minus 14c is equal to minus 14. Minus and minus will get cancelled. C is equal to 14 divided by 14, which is equal to 1. Now let's take any one of the equations. So I will consider 5a plus 10c is equal to 0. So which implies 5a plus 10. In place of this c you put 1. So 10 into 1 is 60. So which implies 5a is equal to 60 minus 10, or you will get a is equal to 50 divided by 5, which is equal to 10. Therefore, the fitted quadratic trend equation is y subscript c is equal to a is 10, so it is a plus bx, that is 3.4x, plus cx square, that is 1x square. So this is the fitted quadratic trend equation. Now they have asked us to estimate the value for 2022. So estimate for 2022. This is when x is equal to 4. So therefore y 2022 is equal to 10 plus 3.4 into 4 plus 4 square. So this is 10 plus 13.6 plus 16. So therefore y 2022 is equal to 39.6 in 1000 tons. My dear students, this is the last video from me for the academic year 2024. I would like to thank each and every one of you for supporting my channel, Statistics Made Simple. And with all your support, I have accomplished 190 videos. My best wishes to each and every student who is going to write the second PUC statistics examination on March 5th. My best wishes to each one of you as you're preparing for your board exams. May your efforts shine bright as you tackle this milestone. Remember to stay focused, stay calm, and let your brilliance illuminate the exam hall. May all your preparation and determination shine through in every paper which you're going to write. Wishing each one of you the very best for all your future endeavors as well. It has been a great pleasure from me to make these videos for all of you. Thank you once again, and wishing each one of you the very best.